got him. No one talks like that. Like, what
So
were the
then, like, is the New York Times in on it? Are they so pro Blake and are were they misled? You know, it leads a lot of questions.
It does. And it opens like I think one door keeps opening like a maze of doors. You're like in that, what was that like when you go to like a fair, they have that room with multiple
Yeah, like a fun house.
fun house. It's like a fun house mirror situation. You're like, when does this end? Because the thing is, like, there is something insidious going on. I just can't quite figure out what it is and why we need to bring this to the public opinion. Justin Baldoni has no money to give. You have all the good press in the world. You guys were like a darling of Hollywood. Everyone loved this couple, Blake and Ryan. Everybody looked up to you. You guys were pretty much billionaires, untouchable. Why get in the muck? Like, even if he sexually harassed her, I'm not going to tell a woman never to file a lawsuit. But when you're at a certain stature, it ends up create because now every movie, and this is unfortunately with misogyny, every movie that Blake does, guess what everyone's going to think? Is she going to be difficult? Is she going to bring up some kind of harassment? Can we compliment her? Can we? I'm not saying that's right, but unfortunately, that's how Hollywood is still a bit misogynistic. So, like,
And for Ryan, like, so I mean, Blake, I mean, his Justin, besides the gag order and everything, they sent letters to like Disney and Marvel. Now they have not sued Disney and Marvel, but they sent like Justin's team sent letters to Disney and Marvel. So, like, do people realize like if you're Disney and Marvel with Deadpool, like, I assume you're picking up the phone and calling Ryan Reynolds and Blake and saying, like, we don't really give a fuck what's going on. Keep us the fuck out of this. Like, we're Disney and Marvel, like the Marvel universe. Like, we don't give a shit. If you have to pay $500 million, good luck to you and go right on the side of the street.
they
So
don't care.
why? So it's a smart, like, that's where it's like you are in Deadpool. You have something to lose.
Right.
Justin is not in a Marvel movie. Like a movie and a Marvel movie do not pay the same in this universe. So to me, it's like the sending these letters to Disney and Marvel and saying like, we don't want you to delete communications and all this. If I were Disney and Marvel, I'd be like, "Hi Ryan, can you call us back? We understand what's going on. We actually don't give one fuck, and
We're
keep us out of this. We're not interested." That's what
not
I would think.
exactly. And you being a lawyer and my whole family are lawyers. And I know that these, like, even small production companies, I've worked for them. They have a team of lawyers, let alone Disney. They probably have a whole floor of lawyers, right? So why like involve them? And what I don't understand for the life of me is like the stretching that Justin Baldoni is doing. Oh, Ryan Reynolds was making fun of me because he's wearing a man bun in a scene in Wolverine and Deadpool. I'm like, this is starting to feel like a stretch. You think the writers of Disney had a meeting with Ryan Reynolds and plotted your demise? It's a stretch. So some of the stuff
Hmm.
I'm like, this is, I hate to say it, but it kind of feels a little bit like when housewives sue, where they're stretching. They're like, oh, well, Bethany, like, you ordered the, like, skinny margarita in front of me, Luann. You owe me money, says Luann. It's like, it's a stretch, Luann. Like, you're telling us, like, you created that? Like,
It's kind of like when someone comes on your podcast and says something, and then they call you after and they're a housewife and they're like, "Can you edit this out?" And you're like, "Sweetheart, nobody gives a fuck that you said this." It's like an ego thing. It's like nobody cares. This episode is going out. We're not editing this, and you're not that important. Like nobody cares. They
no.
care about, at the time, Tom Girardi and then Scandival. Like we don't care about every little fucking thing, although. Seems that we're talking about whether Angie K was a backup dancer or not in the WAP video. So I guess sometimes we do get in the weeds, don't
It
we?
was a little bit the back of his. I mean, she did sit on the bench at one point. So I was like, well, you know what? I have yet to see someone ascend from friend of so seamlessly to holding a snowflake. I mean, that should be studied.
I agree. Like, look, how many, like, we've had Brandy Glanville, right? Went from friend of to full time. Her, we have Kiana Stewart. Is she full time on Potomac? I don't even know.
She's so bad.
Like who else really has done it to your point? Yeah, Angie K, like last season to me, Angie K was a newbie. Monica took over. That was the whole thing. And she had an okay season. This season, I agree with you. It's like I make no distinction between Angie and Meredith and Mary. She is just
Absolutely.
as much a part of this show as all of them.
Wonderful. I forgot
Great
she was.
season.
I forgot. Like that's how good she is that I totally forgot she was kind of like I don't get mad at me, Angie, but it seemed like you were riding Jen's coattails a little bit. Or you were like her friend. And again, you had a very full life with your lovely husband and the businesses. Like I would never say that you're riding anyone's coattails, but I don't know what's another analogy. Like she was kind of like, her right hand woman. And then I think when Jen went to prison, it was kind of like then Angie could kind of rise to the occasion.
Because she was afraid of it was like her, Dana, whatever her name was. I
Yeah,
don't even remember.
oh, yeah,
There
damn.
was three of them, three people.
Disappeared. Yeah, I liked her. I kind of liked her.
Right. So I agree. Angie, she also just objectively, she got my best dressed at the reunion. I find her to be best dressed.
Yes.
I find Bronwyn was second, and I think everyone else looked really tacky. That's just my personal opinion.
Tacky. So tacky. Like, I'm sorry, I love Mary and she's like my favorite now, but her dress, like with the gold on the bottom, so bad.
It
It's so
was like something she should be on the Traders. And Meredith, I thought Meredith aged her, which no age shaming, but nobody is dressing woman, man, whatever you are. Nobody is dressing to be aged. That's not how people dress.
nobody
I
dresses.
just thought Meredith has aged her alive.
She did. You know what she looked like, which is a weird comparison, but the minute I saw her, I thought of Stifler's mom. She gave me that image of
Mm.
MILF from American Pie, like dated, not even the good Jennifer Coolidge now, the dated Jennifer Coolidge, where it was like heavy makeup, the bouffant hair. I don't know if she was trying to allude to like high body count hair, but the hair was just not working. And that's not really your joke. So why are you getting involved? What I thought was the most iconic part was that Angie saw that Britney was going to wear her dress and said, absolutely not. Know your place. I'm the main housewife. You're going to change. That was like, I wish that was on camera. Like, I would have loved to see that.
I like that. There is this rumor that's been going around, which is just people make things up. Like, yeah, I think is that all the cast is coming back, same roles, including Britney. Likely, but like that isn't a real thing. We don't decide that until after the last part of the reunion airs. We give it a minute. So it's a thing that's going around now, which is just made up. I mean, I think it's likely to happen. I could do without Britney coming back personally, but I think everyone else should.
I think Britney, it was like the recording thing and then the back and forth, and like nobody trusts her. But her Instagram, I don't know if you go on there, David, but it's unhinged. She
Is
is
it?
doing TikToks in the lounge at American Airlines. She's dancing up on flight attendants. Like fans are recording her and saying like the most vile things like Britney's an idiot. She's such a weirdo. And she puts them all online. It's
It's thirsty, is what it
so
is.
thirsty. And she doesn't need to be that thirsty. She was on Broadway. She has a great voice. If I was her, I would use this as a jumping off point to meet with every Broadway producer and get back on like Chicago. Or she has a
Hmm.
good voice. Like she did a Lifetime movie. Someone sent it to me with Tori Spelling, and she was in a choir.
Really?
Yeah, iconic. I
It's listen, anything with Tori Spelling is iconic. I mean, come on now.
I love Tori Spelling. I literally took out the popcorn when she was doing the whole like Dancing with the Stars like little thing, and there was like a 6 month